Good morning, Amani. Are you ready to raise your vibration and raise the vibration of the planet? Then please stand wherever you are in your homes, in your yard. If you're laying down in bed, just sit up a little and let's sing with Ascension.
The colors of the rainbow, all the voices in the wind, every dream that reaches out to find where love begins, every word of every story, every star in every sky, every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. From the mountains to the valleys, from the river to the sea. Well, every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, all the hope in every heart speaks what love has done. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify. I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify. I will testify to love.
Awesome. Thank you, Ascension. My name is Marcy Mitchell, and I am a practitioner and the Center Director here at the Amani Center in Cameron Park, California. It is my great honor to welcome all of you here to our Sunday experience. We have been doing this virtually, via live on Facebook, since the beginning of the Great Pause. It's been an interesting time for all of us on the planet, but we're so grateful that we can come together in community in the way that we are able, in a safe way, and be with you, share music and message and meditation, and just take this time each week to be together. So I thank you for joining us. I'd like to take a moment and look at our vision statement, which is going to come up on the screen. Let us all read it together. We are an inclusive spiritual community dedicated to raising consciousness and transforming lives. And so that is what we are all about here at the Amani Center. We take it very seriously, and we're so grateful to all of you who are a part of it. So one of the ways that we do this is with affirmative prayer, or what we call spiritual mind treatment. And that is a way to manifest the things you want to manifest, release the things you want to release, keep your life in balance and in joy. And we have a team of practitioners and ministers here at the Amani Center who are here to treat or pray for and with you. We have been in training for at least 4 years on how to do this scientific type of affirmative prayer, and it is our joy, our mission, our purpose to do that for you. So if you've got something that is weighing heavy on your mind, something that you want to manifest, a dream, a goal, or if you just want to be in community with someone, you can reach out to us personally and we will treat with you. So there is, on our Facebook page, there is a book button under featured services. If you hit that, it's going to allow you to reach out for an appointment for affirmative prayer, and one of our practitioners or ministers will reach out to you directly via phone or video chat or email or even text, however you would like to do it. So please do take advantage of that. And so now we're going to take a few moments for our announcements and let you know what's going on here at the Amani Center. So this is our November calendar. The theme for November is When Shift Happens. Seems super appropriate right now all over the world. And today we have the amazing Yuli speaking, and then next week we have our wonderful Reverend Pixie Dufour. So tune in for that one as well. Here's some of the things we have coming up. So we have this amazing workshop with Bob Sima and Shannon Plumer. They are doing a practical breath work workshop here virtually. Will be via Zoom. That's on December 2nd, and that is going to be amazing. I've done a workshop with Bob before. He is amazing. Just won a Posy Award last week when they were doing those awards. So he's an amazing musician, songwriter. Shannon, also an amazing singer and a shaman. So please tune in to this. You can sign up. There's probably a link being dropped right now. I encourage you to check this one out. And then for Hanukkah, you know, we know that there are many paths and one truth. And so we like to bring some of the other teachings in for people with that background or people who are just curious, a way to support each other. So in December, on the 4th, which is a Friday, at 6 p.m., we will be doing a Zoom event called the Hanukkah Miracle. And a good friend of mine from Virginia, his name is Mike Levitt, and he has done some presentations here before. He will be telling us a little about the Hanukkah story, some of the traditions. He would love to share food with us, but he's going to talk about it a little bit. So that's a free event. Please sign up for that. You should see a link. It's just a wonderful way to broaden our horizons and honor the Jewish tradition. And another really exciting event we have coming up, we're bringing back Friday Night Live, and we will have the amazing Barbara Wybara here again. She's doing a night of astrology and speaking about the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. So she's been here before. She is fabulous. We all really enjoyed her. Sign up for that, and it is December 11th at 6:30, and I believe that is $25. So take advantage of that opportunity to find out what's going on. What's going on right now and why are we experiencing the things we're experiencing. And we also have an opportunity to dance and exercise at home. Every Friday we have Zumba with Angela. And so this is our very beloved friend Angela, who is now coming to us from Arizona. And you can sign up for this on in our Discover Center. There should be a link getting dropped. This is a fun way to connect and dance and stay physically fit and joyous during the Great Pause. And we also have another opportunity to work on your fitness, to work on your balance with our own Kelly Webb. And so this is a program that she's doing with the Amani Center. You get 3 weekly virtual Zoom setting sessions, and she's got a whole bunch of other content as well. That's $65 a month for all access to all of these. So that's something else. You should see a link being dropped right now. And let's see. Oh, it's that time again, Amani. So every year at the holiday season, we come together to try to brighten the holiday of some families or individuals who might be struggling a little bit. And so this is our time when we would normally be sending a card around in the room to ask you to nominate someone. What we're doing now is still asking you if you know of someone, a local family here in the El Dorado County area, just someone who could use a little help. Please don't put it in the comments below, but if you could private message us, or you can send us an email at admin@theamanicenter.org. We would love to know who could use a little help and then be able to provide that. And then also you should be seeing a link right now, or you can also text 2020 holiday to 44321 in order to donate to our Amani Holiday Giving Program. You are all so generous with this program every year, and it's such a joy to be able to help another family or individual out. So please let us know if you know of someone, and if you want to start donating, go ahead and use either the text or that link that should be dropped in the comments right now. Okay, I think that's it for announcements, and so we'll take a moment and bless the service. So if you're sitting in your home, just take anything off of your lap, uncross your legs, sit up nice and straight, allow your eyes to close, and receive a breath. And we just know together that there is one power, one presence, one energy in the universe, and it is perfect joy and perfect love and perfect truth, connection, and it is here for each and every one of us. Each and every one of us is connected to this divine energy. It is here for us in every instant of our life. So whenever we are feeling a need or in fear or forget the truth of who we are, we have only to turn to Spirit, which is always connected to us, and we are completely, lovingly supported. And so I know that this service today unfolds perfectly. Everyone who tunes in will hear just what they need to hear. The message, the music, our team here in the room making this happen, our technology team, our sound team, everyone who shows up in this space to bring this, and everyone who's showing up from their homes to make this service what it is. And that includes each and every one of you who would tune into it. Each of us is divinely guided, and each of us is blessed, 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 blessed as we hear and feel and raise our vibration, raise the vibration of our households, our families, our community, and the planet. And so I am so grateful to know that Spirit is always on our side, always supporting us, always here for us. And I remind each and every one of us of that truth and just say thank you. And so I release my word into the law. I know that as I speak it, it is already unfolding divinely. And together we say, and so it is. And now I bring up our practitioner, Pat Souza, to do the affirmation.
We will say the affirmation together 2 times today. Actually, we'll say it 3 times. I will do it together twice, and I will say it the 3rd time. So the first time we say the affirmation, say it with vigor and enthusiasm. The second time, take it into your heart. And the 3rd time, just join me mentally. My soul is the light of Spirit within me, and that is the only internal voice I trust. My soul is the light of Spirit within me, and that is the only internal voice I trust. My soul is the light of Spirit within me, and that is the only internal voice I trust. This affirmation was brought to us today by Yuli, who is our speaker.
And now we'll have our pre-meditation music, so prepare yourself for meditation.
There's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people, sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Oh, I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one.
For our meditation today, what I would like us to do is to very consciously and intentionally move our energy from our head and our thinking mind to our hearts. So as you go into meditation, prepare your body. Let your body relax. Sit in a relaxed state. Close your eyes if you wish. Take a few deep breaths. Consciously feel your body relaxing. Start at the top of your head and just let your body relax with your breath. We know that the love that we have for our families, the love we have for each other, for this planet, for all of the peoples of the world, we know that love comes from our hearts. We open our hearts now fully to the joy of being here on this planet at this very moment. knowing that everything that is happening is okay. Everything that is happening is a tool for our learning about the love for ourselves, learning about the love we have for each other, our families, our friends, the people who live on our street, all of those beautiful souls who serve us in so many ways. And we fill our own hearts with a desire to serve, a desire to be with each other, a desire to share our bounty, our love, our confidence, and our wisdom. So as you go into your meditation, your personal meditation today, remember to breathe. Remember that you are meditating today from your heart. As you come out of your meditation, we will go into a treatment, a healing treatment. We are one with the universe. The universe is our friend. We are one. We are united always and forever. Knowing about this unity that we have with the universe, we open ourselves to the healing light that always is around us, the very air we breathe. It is in the ether. Wherever we are, there is healing, love, and light surrounding us. And we feel that healing light in our bodies now as it suffuses our organs, as it suffuses our muscles, the very bone structure of our bodies. Light is everywhere. Light is our power. Light and love. Light and love. Light and love. We know that this healing light is always with us, that it guides us, that we can reach any moment into this portal of healing light. And we will find answers. We will find support. We will find our very, very best selves. This healing light surrounds us always. We are grateful to know this. We give great thanks, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Pat. It is now my great joy to introduce our guest vocalist today, a familiar Amani face, Nicole Andrews.
Thank you for having me, Amani. I am excited and honored to be here. Oh, yeah. We got a good thing, yeah. Whenever life gets hard, we'll never lose our way, 'cause we all know who we are. Who knows about tomorrow? We don't know what's in the stars. I just know we'll always follow the light in our hearts. I'm not worried about us, and I've never been. We know how the story ends. We will never break, we will never break. Built on a foundation strong enough to stay. We will never break as the water rises and the mountains shake. Our love will remain. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. It's more than a good sensation. It's more than a passing thing. We are the explanation of what love really means. It's bigger than you and me. It's 1 + 1 = 3. When we talk about forever, forever's what we mean. So I'm not worried about us, and I've never been. No matter what may come our way, we will never break, we will never break. Built on a foundation stronger than the pain. We will never break as the water rises and the mountains shake. Our love will remain. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. The world is dangerous. Throw it all at us. There's nothing we cannot take. We will never break. We will never break. Built on a foundation strong enough to stay. We will never break as the water rises and the mountains shake. Our love will remain. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, we will never.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. So wonderful to have you on the stage, and such a perfect message for us all right now. And now it is my great honor and joy to introduce today's speaker, a longtime member of this community, a dear friend of mine. She always brings such a beautiful message, and she just knows exactly what you need to hear. So buckle in, folks. Time for Yuli.
Nope. There. Okay, there we are.
All right, good morning. So, no pressure. We're going to have fun. Okay, so when I saw the date, well, first of all, that song, yeah, that's touched me right here. I love music. So, thank you. That was just, whew. Okay, so, and then everybody here, I mean, I wish you could feel the energy in here. I can't wait for the great pause to be over so we can all reconnect because it just feels so beautiful here. All right. So when I saw the date for today's talk, I thought to myself, okay, well, this is good timing because as many of us are preparing to maybe have a limited Thanksgiving or getting together with our families, you know what happens when we get together with people who we grew up with. We get into some of the old patterns, and hopefully in your family, those are nice, happy traditions and patterns. But I'm going to speak to all of us when we talk about going back into that environment and we regress back to old ways of being and thinking. And sometimes we hear stuff that isn't all that supportive, like, huh, you're still doing that? Oh, you still have some weight to lose, don't you? How's that turkey? or you still haven't left that job, or how old are you now? Yeah. So there's laughter in here because you know what I'm talking about. So I thought today's talk might be to be one of those that we remind each other and myself. Okay, let me just give you a little secret about us speakers when we come up here. We talk about the things we need to know. So this week has been putting together this talk about things I need to hear. And so maybe I'm just talking to myself, but hopefully not. So the reason for the affirmation is that internal voice, is that external internal voice. It's that voice that we have in our heads, all the shoulds, like I'm this age, I should have done this, and I'm a woman and I should be this way, or I'm a man and I need to do this. And I'm just going to ask you to stop shoulding all over the place. It's a bad word. Okay? It's just a bad. So I'm going to tell you now, your soul never shoulds. Okay? So I want to we're going to go through this kind of journey today to get back to our souls. So we're going to talk a little bit about what isn't our soul. All right? So we're going to kind of eliminate what our soul isn't. And then I'm going to take you to where your soul is and how to tap into that voice. Okay? So I'm going to start. I have some quotes here because I like quotes. I'm a teacher, so we like quotes. So we're going to start off with Ernest Holmes. He's the author of the Science of Mind textbook that we all have. All of us who've become practitioners and go through classes have highlighted, dog-eared, cried over, had a haws through. Ernest is an amazing spirit. So some of you have seen me speak before. I don't have good vision, so I wrote it as big as I could, but I still have to bring it close. So Ernest Holmes. All right, we already live in a perfect universe, but it needs to be seen mentally before it can become a part of our experience. So we need to see it mentally. It's like the story of the prodigal son, that we need to only look to God and God is there. We only need to look at the universe from a place of acceptance and love and joy, because our soul doesn't want us to suffer. Our soul is there to guide us through the lessons. But there is no desire for suffering. There is no wanting for that. And so it is a perfect universe, and we just have to see it. So let's go down the road of what we have been looking at that doesn't serve us. So I've been reading a book by Elizabeth Lerner. So it's called Cassandra's Story. And the whole idea of the book is looking at how we've been telling stories. What's our narrative? What are the things that we tell ourselves? It isn't just the shoulds. It's the what ifs. It's the, all of this BS. And by BS, I mean belief systems that we have. You can fill in the BS with whatever you'd like. So I want to talk a little bit about gender roles, because that's what she talks about in her book. And how we have, I know that there's the non-binary fluidity that I think is such a beautiful thing that we, it has been going on throughout millennia. It has been in our existence. And so to honor folks who are in the fluid space is beautiful, because they get to be part of the double spirit, the dual spirit life, having an understanding of both. But right now I'm going to talk about the binary, the female and the male, because what we have been fed has been BS, the other one. Okay. Okay. Yes, thank you. I got an amen in the audience. So starting from, okay, so we as women, we started off like Eve, the whole story. Yeah, she's original sin. She's the one that said, hey, look, that's the thing we can't have. What happens when we're told we can't have something? Yeah, I can't have a fruit from that tree? Huh, well, that fruit looks pretty good. Tree of knowledge, you say? I'll get kicked out of Eden, you say? No? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'll try a fruit. Here, honey, Adam, have a bite. It's not bad. Okay, so she, quote, messed up. I have my own theory of the whole thing. And it might not be just my theory. Maybe other people have the same theory. I don't know. But I think that not I think, but this is what has happened. Eve has been made evil, so therefore all women are evil. All women, from the beginning of time, have been the root of sin, the reason for our mortality. And there has been tons of writing by men about what that means. So I'm going to read a quote from Thomas Aquinas, because we've all heard of him. The other ones in the book I hadn't heard of, but I figured Thomas Aquinas we've all heard of. And this is what he says about women. As regards the individual nature, woman is defective and misbegotten. For the active force in the male seed lends to the activation of the perfection of the male likeness in masculine sex, while the production of a woman comes from a defect in the active force. There was something else from Martin Luther about how we deserve to die in childbirth because that's what we're here to do. Yeah, good times. Okay. So what has happened with that, as we have the legacy of Eve, the sinner, the original sinner, is that women have been relegated to childbearing, child rearing, homemaking, and those aspects of life, of humanity, have been seen as second, or maybe third, have not been valued, even though the aspects of masculinity that writers, old and new, state as the important ones: the ability to engage in war, the strength that men have, the physical strength, the strategizing that they are able to do in regards to warfare and battle and hunting and all of these things that are considered masculine, have been lifted up and seen as better than, have been seen as the things that are important. And it's funny because when you talk about gender roles or gender issues, what do you think of? You think women. Yeah, male is gender. So when we think of gender issues, we just think of women's issues, which that's not how it goes. So when we as women
are raised in our society. We start off young and innocent, and we girls are tomboys, and girls get to do whatever they want until they're about 8. And then they get told, like 8, 7, 8, 9, and then they get their periods at some point. They get boobs, and all that stuff happens, And we get told that women have to do this. Girls do this, boys do this. But we're talking about girls now. I'll get to the men. Ladies first. Girls are shut down. They're called bossy if they're assertive. They are called all kinds of things if they have a voice. So we as girls have been taught to silence ourselves, to be small. This is why so many women suffer from eating disorders. We're taught to be small. We're taught to stay quiet. We're taught to silence ourselves. A strong woman in some cultures is a woman who can take a lot and still be strong in her support of her family. Okay? She's the rock because she can take a lot. No. Okay? And why is it that all the, if you look at newspapers, all the major stories are about politics and war and science, which although those things are important, and yet things that women see as important, like the home and relationships, are relegated to the style section of the newspaper. Okay, so we need to see and understand that as we are women, we have been silenced. As we grow up as women, we have been told that at some point you get married and you have 2.8 kids. Well, that's the average amount of kids a family has, so one kid doesn't have a foot. I don't know. The average family has 2.8 kids. That's statistics for you. So the average family has 3 kids. We'll just say 3 kids. And, so you're told that, and at some point women get asked things like, so when are you gay? If you're 35 and don't have a boyfriend, do you not want to get married? Oh my God, she's a spinster. I don't know. She needs to put herself out there and find a husband because the clock is ticking. And your eggs are going to go bad pretty soon. So get going. Go on a dating site. So we're supposed to get married. We're supposed to have kids. And then what? And we're supposed to take care of the house. And those things are seen as second. But what if we lived in a world where those things were important? Where those things made the front page, where education issues made the front page of a newspaper. And not because, some principal was busted doing something wrong. So why don't we have those things up front? Because those things are not as valued in our society. So one, we have to value women's roles, but we also have to understand that we have oftentimes been relegated into these roles by the way we've been brought up. Because good women were burnt at the stake as witches, The women that were loud and obnoxious, the silent ones weren't because they weren't in cahoots with the devil. I don't know how that all worked. But the point is that we have been fed these lies about women, or these expectations. The other one is, okay, so we're a sinner, right? But then there's also the idea of the pure female. So you're either a loud, obnoxious woman who needs to be controlled, or you're a saint. So you choose. Those are the 2 roles allowed women. You're either the sinner, or you are the pious and good girl. That's it. Anything else is not okay. So we want women to, and feminists, it's funny because I know male feminists, because feminism is not about getting rid of men. It's about both of us, men and women, embracing who we really are, who we were at birth. Men don't have it easy either, because men are told, hey, you got to suck it up. You can't cry. You can only channel your emotions through one. You can only be angry. So you can be depressed and angry, or you can be frustrated and angry, or you can be, shameful and angry, but it's all angry. It all falls under that umbrella of anger. Because when we see little boys, we tell them, hey, you can't be a sissy. You got to man up. Boys don't cry. And I always wondered what man up means, because then I wonder what woman up means. What does woman up mean? You cry more? I don't know. You got to woman up. I don't know. So if the other one doesn't make sense, the first one doesn't. But we tell little boys. And in fact, there was a story in Elizabeth Lerner's book where she talked about interviewing little boys. And they interviewed this little 9-year-old boy. And they asked him, they said, okay, so if your soccer coach in front of all the boys said, you kick like a girl or you play like a girl, what would that do to you? And he said, it would destroy me. He's 9. How does he know this at 9? It's all of this BS that we're learning about what it means to be masculine and what it means to be feminine. And it divides us. How are women and men supposed to figure out relationships if we're focusing on the differences? I've taught psychology of women, and I don't remember who said this, so I'm not going to think her name was Janet Hyde. Either way, she talked about the gender similarities hypothesis. Because when things are published, they're published because they light a fire. They're published because they're interesting. They perk a headline on a journal article. It's like, oh, the differences between men and women. A book was published in the 90s. Apparently, we are from different planets. Men are from Mars. Women are from. We breathe different. We can only exist in different atmospheres. We can't even be on the same planet. So, how are we supposed to be together? So Janet Hyde and other researchers have talked about the gender similarities hypothesis, basically saying that men and women are more similar than we are different, that there are more differences among men and among women than there are between groups of men and women. And Gloria Steinem said, another one of my quotes, number 3 for today, because this is going to lead into what we're going to talk about with men. Gloria Steinem said, women are not going to be equal outside of the home until men are equal in it. That's Gloria. But what that means is that we have to allow and encourage and embrace the tendency for gentleness and nurturance in men. We have to encourage and allow and give permission to men to be a parent, to be a partner. We have to embrace their vulnerability with them. We have to join them in that. We have to allow them to be who they are. We are all, I'm inviting every one of us to be whole, to come away from and separate from this idea of, and these notions we've gotten about what it means to be us in this body, whatever the body looks like. It is time for us to let these things go. So when we go into these family gatherings, maybe you'll have a healthy, nice, beautiful, engaging, and supportive family gathering. That would be awesome. I want that for everyone. And yet, what I know sometimes happens is we go back to those old, And so if you get a question like, when are you going to have a baby? Or, why is Bob changing the diapers? Shouldn't you be changing? Those kinds of things. Just, sometimes you don't have to speak up. You don't have to make a ruckus about it. If you want to, you can. But I want you to kind of take into account not your reaction, but your response. Go into these engagements this week with your families, knowing who you are. And so we're going to go into that now. We're going to go into this part of the claiming and rebranding your story. Now, I'm not telling you to change the facts that have happened in your life. I don't know how much time I got. So, I don't want you to kind of change the facts. Okay, it's not about changing the facts. I'm talking about changing the narrative. Okay? So when I was younger, I was bullied. I'm different. I look different. My vision is an issue sometimes. And so I've gotten bullied. And so I used to tell that story. I got bullied and I felt alone, and I did. Those things are true. And I compromised. I didn't, I allowed people in my life who maybe weren't the best for me. But I learned from that. So here's my narrative. Yes, I'm different. And yes, I've gone through some stuff. I've gone through a lot of judgment and have accepted challenging relationships in my life that maybe weren't the best for me, but here's my narrative. All that stuff has made me a better person. I went through that to find my voice. I went through all of that to be able to connect with others, to be that person I needed when I was younger. We need more people in this world right now, especially now, who have the capacity for empathy, who have this desire to connect with others, no matter what, who have the ability to see beyond appearance and connect at the soul level with each other. We need to be able to let go of past and embrace present, because present eventually becomes future. So I want to talk a little bit about Byron Katie's work. I know other people have mentioned her work. But as you hear these little, maybe innocent statements and comments, helpful advice that comes from family and friends that maybe doesn't suit you, and you want to react, I'm inviting you to respond instead. And in your mind, ask yourself when someone says, your eggs are getting old, when are you going to have a baby? Ask yourself, is it true? Okay, yeah, maybe my eggs are getting old, but do I care? Is it true? You're gaining some weight. Yeah, so have you. Might be the first thing you want to say. But, is it true? Is it really true? Okay, so what if it is? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But when you ask yourself if it's true, it invites you to take a little pause before you say something like, yeah, you're a fat cow too, so don't say that. So pause. I'm inviting you to pause before you respond with something that you'll regret later or isn't good for your soul. Is it true? Is it really true? Okay. This is kind of take-home cognitive therapy. So I like this stuff. I like her work because I do. I will ask myself when something comes up, like, is that true? And so the reason why you ask yourself, is it really true? Because sometimes when you ask yourself if it's true, you say, yeah, probably, I did gain weight. Is it really true? Yeah, it is, But then the third statement is, how do you react when you believe that thought? Okay, so if I were to say, oh God, I feel shame. I feel shame because I've gained weight. I feel like I'm weak. I feel shameful to some degree. Everybody else seems to be doing better, and here I am. Fourth one is the good one. Who would you be without this thought? Who would I be? I'd be kinder to myself. I would be calmer. I would be able to focus on things that matter. I would be able to not take up time and worry and stress about my physical body. And maybe instead of worrying about gaining weight, I would be more worried about my health. Not my appearance so much, but my health. Because if it's not about appearance, then it's about wholeness. So take these questions. Is it true? Is it really true? Let me get the other two. I always forget the other two. Because once I get to, is it really true? I'll go no, and then it's fine. The third question is, how do you react when you believe that thought? So how do you react when you believe that thought? And then who would you be without that thought? These are important questions to take with you this holiday as you're hanging out with your family. And at the very least, it will give you a pause so that you respond from a higher place than from a reactive, angry place. So Elizabeth Lerner talked a little bit about how to change your story. And you all know that we're kind of a Brene Brown place, so I can't have a talk without a Brene quote. So before I go into this piece about inviting you to change your story, these are all tools that Elizabeth Lerner has discussed in her book about how to change your story. But I want you to think about changing your story, and here's my quote from Brene. When we deny our stories, they define us. When we own our stories, we get to write a brave and new ending. So I'm inviting you to write a brave and new ending to your story, or a continuation of part 2 or part 3 of your story. To redefine who you are, to claim your greatness, to claim your soul's voice, so that it's not clouded by the critic. It's not clouded by all this chatter about the politics and the this and the that. Okay? So here's the first thing she talks about is meditation. And we did a little meditation today. I find meditation difficult sometimes, but when I get into it and really into it, I know that it helps me. And here's a quote from Pema Chodron. I probably think I'm pronouncing her name wrong. But she says, let's see, where is it? Everything else, okay, so you are the sky, everything else is just weather. So what she means by that is when you're going to meditation, it's like you're in a plane and you're on the ground and you're on a flight and it's a stormy day, okay? So planes take off in stormy weather. So it's a stormy day because we all have stormy days. And as you get in the flight, as you take off and you rise up, you go through the clouds and then you go above the clouds and you're in sky and it's blue. And you look down, and there's the storm, there are the clouds, but you're in the sky. And that's what meditation does, is it takes you above the storm into this place of clear sky. And it allows you, I know when I meditate or do my processes, meditation is one of them, is that I can see differently. I lead differently. I speak differently. I carry myself differently. Because I'm coming from that higher vibration of soul. My soul will never steer me wrong. My soul will always tell me truth if I listen. My soul doesn't force itself on me. The ego does. So I want to rise up and listen to soul more. Because soul sees me as who I am. Ego sees me as who it wants me to be based on what's out here, what culture is saying, what society is saying, how I'm going to fit in, how I'm going to, I'm such and such an age and I should be doing this and I should be doing that and I shouldn't do this. And by the way, there's all this other stuff that's BS. So she talks about meditation being key. Then this is my new mantra, and it came from a poster in her sister's room, but I like it. So I'm going to swear. I'm going to apologize in advance. Sorry. But here's my mantra. Do no harm, take no shit. Okay, I'm going to drop the mic now. No. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. It's not over. But come on. Do no harm, take no shit. It's that simple. First, do no harm. Go into every situation being the light, being the source, being the love. But don't let people cross your boundaries. Care for yourself, care for your soul. Take no shit. Draw the line. Make it clear. Communication with clarity and from a place of strength does not have to be obnoxious. It does not have to be forceful. It could be very simple and very clear. That's not okay. Can we think of another alternative? What are other options? I don't think that's true. Can we talk about this? Or things like, the story I'm telling myself, that also comes from Brene. Go up to someone and say, hey, the story I'm telling myself in my head about what just happened is this. It allows for communication. It allows for clarity. But I like this mantra because it's quick and it's easy, and it doesn't have to be anything too long and it's just do no harm, take no shit. That's it. It's that simple. I like simple. Simple is nice. Okay. So Mitch last week talked about the fact that we are all one. And I want to just leave you with this, because we are in this great pause, and there is such divisiveness. If we are all one, divisiveness can't exist. If we are all one, we're not honoring ourselves and others. We are not living into namaste. So I invite you to have difficult conversations with people. I like this quote from Rumi. I'm full of quotes today. I love this quote from Rumi. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. We have to get past. I know people who support different political views than I do. But we have conversations. We come together and we find the middle space. We can find things about our views that we respect, but maybe don't agree with. And that's part of tapping into this oneness. If you go into these family gatherings this week, understand that they are also part of this oneness. That they are, in their way, being the Christ to the best of their understanding. Honor that in yourself. I'll leave you with this. One of my favorite words is yet. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't done this yet. It is this idea of growth and wanting to aspire to. Today, I didn't do so well listening to my soul. Today, I let things get into my psyche that weren't the best. But tomorrow will be different, and I'll get there, and I haven't gotten there yet. So be kind to yourself is the other thing I want to say. Because we are going through difficult times. Marriages are breaking up. People are changing jobs. People are having to move. Everybody's together a lot, for better or for worse. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Be gentle. Let's be gentle with each other, because it is through gentleness and love that we find ourselves. And in finding ourselves, we find God and we find each other. That's it.
Thank you, Yuli. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, and now is our time for our joyful time of giving. And so during the Great Pause, we continue to come to you live. We continue to pay our lease payments, our utilities. And so we're so grateful for anything that you can give to us to support this center so we can keep doing our mission. And so since we're not in the room, not able to pass a basket, we're going to go through some of the ways that you can give from home. Okay, so you can have several ways on here. So you can text the word Amani to 44321. There's a donate button on our newsletter and our email blasts. There's a donate button on our website, theamanicenter.org. You can hit book now on Facebook, and that will take you to a way to donate. You can use your own bank app from home and just set up a check to come every week or one time. And you can always mail a check to us as well. And I do have an address for you. The Amani Center, 2558 Greenwood Lane, Suite D, Cameron Park, California, 95682. We are just so grateful for whatever you do to support the center. Oh, and there should be a link being dropped right now. Look down, And you should see that link. That's another way to easily give to the Amani Center. So we're just so grateful for you, and however you support us, whatever you give, every little bit helps. And so we thank you for that. And so now it is my great honor again to introduce our guest musical vocalist, and she brings a little support from the family in the form of her daughter, Addie.
Thanks again, you guys. La da 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 da. We are searchlights we can see in the dark. We are rockets pointed up at the stars. We are billions of beautiful hearts. And you sold us down the river too far. What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? What about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? What about love? What about trust? What about us? We are problems that want to be solved. We are children that need to be loved. We were willing, we came when you called. But man, you fooled us. Enough is enough. Oh, what about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? Oh, what about us? What about all the times that ended in disaster? No, what about love? What about us? What about us? Everybody get up at home. Dance with us. Clap your hands. No, what about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? What about love? What about trust? What about us? Sticks and stones, they may break these bones, but then I'll be ready. Are you ready? It's the start of us waking up. Come on. Are you ready? I'll be ready. I don't want control. I want to let go. Are you ready? I'll be ready. 'Cause now it's time to let them know. We are ready. What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? So what about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? Oh, what about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? No, what about love? What about trust? What about us? 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 about us.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Amani. Thank you, Yuli. Such a beautiful message.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. That was beautiful. Got our blood pumping. Okay, and now it is time for us to sing our closing song, The Presence is Here. You guys are going to help me out, right? So wherever you are, stand in your homes, stand and take part in this, and sing with us out loud together. We're going to bring the words up on the screen. The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. And I will meet you in grace. Thank you for joining us, Amani. Thank you for being with us in the one presence. We meet you in grace every week. Namaste.